Hey YouTube, so I want to make a quick video on how to replace a insulated window pane from a window sash. I had a hard time finding any information on this online, so I figured I'd make a video to share. So the first step is to remove the window sash from the window itself. There are some good videos on how to do this, and I'll put a link in the description on the one that I used. Next thing is, if your window is broken, I'd recommend removing any of the broken glass that you can, and then taping up anything that's cracked, just to keep the glass intact and keep you from cutting yourself. So all you'll need to do this is a Phillips head screwdriver, and it's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. There's 3 screws on each side, so you can see the first one there, the second one behind it, and then the third one there. You'll need to remove all 3 of these screws, starting with the larger one in the front that's holding that clip in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove these screws. You notice this screw holds this cap in, so you want to take that off and set it aside. Then you can remove the other 2 screws. The other 2 screws are what holds the frame together. And you'll notice none of these screws are very tight. We're on the opposite side now, and you'll notice it has the exact same setup. You may want to take a mental note that the screws are different sizes. The smaller one holds the frame together, the larger one holds the clip in the top. Okay, now that we've gotten all 6 screws, 3 from each side, taken out, the frame is ready to come off. And you'll notice it just kind of fits together like a little puzzle. So we're going to pull this side off straight out to clear it from this indentation. Notice there's the same indentation on the other end right there. So you want to start with this. In this window, you want to start with this piece, not this piece. If you try to pull this out, it won't come because this will hold it. So you need to look at how it's inserted together and pull out. Okay, so you just want to slowly pull the frame apart. It'll be a little bit tight. So just do it incrementally on each side, and it should come right off. Be careful not to tear up your weather stripping if you plan on reusing it like I do. And you'll do the same thing on the opposite sides, and then you can get the top and bottom off. Now we're going to remove the weather stripping. So got a little bit of silicone on this side. So one note is you don't have to take the weather stripping all the way off just to measure the window, but what you'd want to do now is either take this window to your local hardware store or take measurements and call them and then order a new window. I bought mine online, and I'll leave a link in the description where I got it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm happy with them yet or not, but I'll go ahead and leave that down there in case you're like me and don't have somewhere close you can get a insulated window from. Okay, once you have your new window pane, there's a couple of things to notice. So like I said, I bought my pane online. I'm not sure if you buy it locally if it'll come in like this or not, but it had what they're calling a capillary tube right here, which I would show you, but I've already cut off. So they install that. It has to do with air freight shipping and keeping the pressure inside the window pane equal to pressure outside the window pane. Anyway, so you've got to seal that up with silicone before you install the window. And then there's also orientation that capillary tube needs to be when you install it. So it's supposed to be on the top side of the window, and there'll be some instructions to clarify that when you buy it. But mine was here where this blue piece of tape was, so I'm making sure that's going to be at the top of the window, which is where I've got my latches and things, so I know it's at the top. If you have a coating or a film for a low-E or a tint or anything like that, just ensure that you have the correct side facing out. So the orientation of the pane matters when you have those coatings. This one doesn't, so I'm just putting it in. Other than that, installation is basically just the inverse of taking it apart. So we're just going to start with putting the weather stripping back on. Now that the weather stripping's on, we're going to put the frame back together in the reverse order that we took it apart. So in this window's case, you've got to put the bottom and top pieces on first, and then you can put the sides on. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is reinstall the screws, starting with the two smaller screws that secure the frame together. Be careful when you're lifting this up that you don't separate it. You also want to look in there and just make sure that your holes seem lined up on the frame. Like I said, you need to start with the frame screws and not the clip screw. If you put the clip screw in first, you won't be able to get the top frame screw in. Now that we've got both screws in on this side, we can go ahead and put the clip in. Clip should only go in one way, kind of slides into the spot, and the screw just keeps it from popping back out. Just take your time, make sure everything's lined up. We'll do that for the other side and we'll be done. Alright, we are done. Last thing is just to reinstall the window pane into the window, which, as I said in the beginning, I did find a good video for that, which I'll share the link in the description. I think it does a better job than I'd be able to do showing you. So, hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching.